Hey, what's going on YouTube? We're back with another Borderlands video, and today we're going to be talking about what weapons should come to Borderlands 3. Now, I got this idea from a Twitter exchange between Randy Pitchford and Elon Musk, and it got me thinking about the guns that could or should be in Borderlands 3. So, before we jump into the topic, let's actually look into these tweets. So, Elon says, but wait, there's more. The Flamethrower is sentient, its safe word is cryptocurrency, and it comes with a blockchain. Now, Randy goes ahead and replies to this, and he says, Elon, I'm gonna add this to the next Borderlands game. Super serious. Let me know if you want to write the flavor text. You may have already done so. We'll just lift it from one of your tweets. So Elon goes, sure. Randy says, done. So a lot of people are jumping on, making videos. You know, other Borderlands YouTubers are like, flamethrowers confirmed for Borderlands 3. This is sweet. This is going to be awesome. And I tend to agree, right? But I want to expand on the topic a bit. Now, you know, Elon says that it's got a safe word. It's going to be sentient. So immediately I'm thinking along the lines of a Morning Star or the Bane, and, you know, that already has a place in Borderlands, but a flamethrower could be really cool. So let's talk about that idea. Well, for one, flamethrowers would be pretty ridiculous, and they certainly would have been a lovely touch in previous games. I think of some of the grenade mods in the game already prove my point well, because they can be very cool to use if you're just trying to light everything on fire. Now, a flamethrower Hellborn Krieg build would be absolute insanity. Everything would be on fire all of the time. And, you know, having insanity be fun is kind of like how I think about Borderlands. So it's like, it's insane, but it's in the best way possible. Now, as for the different manufacturers, you could have some really cool features. So I think of Maliwan, and I'm like, okay, well, the flamethrower could just light everyone on fire and then deal bonus elemental damage on top of the flames, or a different elemental damage. So, like, you could have a flamethrower that deals corrosive damage, explosive damage. That would be insane. I don't know how they'd pull it off, but it's Borderlands, man. It doesn't have to make sense. You know, you could have TDR having a flamethrower where you throw it and then it acts like a grenade mod. So I could see a TDR legendary flamethrower where you throw it when it's empty or you throw it when you're ready, and it could act like the Breath of Terramorphous grenade mod or the Firestorm grenade mod, things like that. That could be a really cool idea. It spews flames, it does its thing for a short duration, and then it just explodes. Pretty awesome. Now, I've spoken previous videos about how I thought a Nomad would be a cool playable character for Borderlands 3, and if they did that, it could really link up well, right? A Pyro Nomad build with flamethrowers in Borderlands 3, it's there, man. Or you could pretend that you're Pyro Pete too, and just go nuts with it. A lot of stuff could fit together nicely here, and your mind can really go wild with it. Now, let's move on to revolvers. So, I know in Borderlands 2, they kind of integrated the pistol class into one with the revolvers. We have the Maggie and the Herald, for example, as two really notable revolvers. Now, what I really want back is mashers from Borderlands 1, because they were so strong, and they were one of my favorite parts about the original Borderlands game, because you could just feel insanely powerful, because that's Borderlands. Like, Borderlands really does a good job of letting you have powerful characters. And if we look at other looter shooters, there's some developers that are scared to let players feel powerful, to let legendary guns be really good. But that's the point of them. They're supposed to be hard to obtain, and it's supposed to be a grind to get to a point where you could have a character that's basically God mode. Now, Destiny 2 is a great example of this. They're having tons of trouble letting characters feel powerful. Between the first and the second game, they've nerfed the amount of time that supers come back and things like that. So that's not what we want from Borderlands. We want to feel powerful. Now, my last playthrough of Borderlands 1 was with Mordecai in a revolver build. So at some points with a masher and the gun crazy skill, you could shoot 14 projectiles at once with one pull of the trigger. One bullet 14 projectiles. Now, imagine if you could run a Masher Mordecai build with a B shield. I don't even want to know the damage and the power that you could put out. And that's what Borderlands is, man. You just find these builds, find these guns, put them together, and then you just wreck shit. And that could be such a good piece of the puzzle for Borderlands 3 to make it a wonderful game, bringing back Mashers. And the last topic I want to touch on for this video is melee weapons. Now, this has been a huge topic of discussion. I've seen it in my comment section a bunch. I've seen it on Reddit. I've seen it on the Gearbox forums where people are like, what if we had an entire class of melee weapons? And I think it would be a really cool idea. You know, you can run a melee Krieg, a melee Zero build, and it's fun, it's challenging, it's different, and it certainly could get pretty crazy if we could run around with katanas, machetes, buzz axes, blunt weapons that all have different qualities. Like, maybe the katanas could have a chance for elemental effects, or they could have an effect where if you do damage, you have a chance. So imagine a melee weapon from Moxie. You do damage. Every time you do damage, you get a portion of that health back. That could be something where you could literally be in every enemy's face all the time, hacking and slashing and healing, and that could be so incredibly fun. And then you could look at other weapon classes in the melee, realm where maybe they have increased movement speed after a kill. Maybe they have damage resistance, allowing you to get in closer and deal more damage. Maybe they have damage multipliers based on the number of consecutive hits you've landed on an enemy without taking damage. So maybe, I don't know, I could see people just learning how a boss moves or their attacks and landing 20, 30 straight hits, and your multipliers going through the roof and you're just melting people. That could be awesome. And I've seen it done in a bunch of games, but the most recent one that I've played through where I saw the damage multiplier was AC Origins. And those are all the melee weapons I use, because if you can hack and slash and dodge, the multiplier goes through the roof and you can just destroy some of the stronger, harder enemies. So on that, I'll ask you guys, what weapons do you want to see in Borderlands 3? Is it a specific class of weapons? And of course, I didn't even touch on the discussion that I would like to see manufacturers produce all weapon classes. So like Torg SMGs and snipers, Jacob launchers, and so on. Like, that's a whole nother discussion in itself. And the reason I like it is because I love to farm. Farming is awesome. I like to just, sometimes I'll hop on Borderlands and say, you know what? I'm just going to farm for a couple hours. I might be listening to tunes or watching a podcast, and I'm just looking for that god roll, the best of the best type of weapon. And that's fun, man. And the more weapons, the more qualities and things like that, the more replayability, the more gameplay for Borderlands 3. So if you guys like the video, go ahead and leave a like. I'm really looking for some feedback on this. And before I go, the Discord is up. I will say this much. It's pretty bare bones right now. What I want to do is kind of grow it and implement new features based on feedback. So for now, I've got a few different areas where you can ask me questions and different chat for if you're looking for players or you just want to shoot the shit with somebody and things like that. So over the next coming weeks, what we're going to do is build it up. I'm going to add the Nightbot and things like that as I see what you guys want and as I learn the stuff, because Discord servers are still fairly new to me outside of the ones that I run with my friends. So I want to have stuff where it can implement a lot better. And then, of course, if you guys are into Borderlands, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video. Later.